Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Monday, March 8th, 2021. It is the Nurse Mark and the Green Nurse Daily Dose of AFA.
Where we bring you hope and inspiration for growth and healing so you can start your day off the AFA way. And in case you have forgotten, Mark,
You
I'm
know
going to
what? It
remind
might
you.
have been one of those weekends where you stepped into the hole and you're just coming out. Well, here it is. You're absolutely fucking amazing, exactly as you are. You don't
Yeah.
need to change. You don't need to be any different. You don't need to listen to anybody else. It's your life and you are amazing. So step into that today.
Yes.
Yeah.
Step into that. Up,
Yeah.
up and away in my beautiful balloon. Rise and shine. It
Marilyn
is.
McCoo and Billy Davis Jr. That we're going to take on those roles today. So yeah.
We are. I got it. And it matches my angel reading for today. So
Oh,
yeah.
I love it. Yeah, let's
Yeah.
start with a little bit of daily love and the reading that you have.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll start with that. And then I want to hear your daily love. So,
Okay.
anyways, this was really cool. So the Fifth Dimension is a band that's been around for years, and I never knew of them, but I remember my mom playing. This is the dawning of the age
Yeah.
of
That's
Aquarius.
why I mentioned to the two who came out from that were Marilyn McCoo and Billy Davis Jr. They were part of
I
that
don't.
group, and then
Yeah.
they did their own thing. But yeah. Oh
So
yeah.
I didn't remember that. So, anyways, I was tooling through Spotify,
Mhm.
and it came up. I'm like, Fifth Dimension. Wow, this is really cool because we talk about 5D, 3D,
Yeah.
integrating these spiritual principles. So I started listening to the songs, and up and away came on. And then this morning's reading, okay, I read from a little angel. It's this really cool little angel calendar. And the reading is you can fly as free as a bird without constraint or time or restrictions. You can achieve this right now.
Now. You don't have to wait. Here's how we live life, Sherry. We're always waiting till we get there because when we get there, it's going to be so much better than where we are today.
Yeah, I
And I
know.
look back, it's like there were times in my life where I had money and didn't have money. And, if I think about the times where we didn't have much, we really had to work hard and scramble. There are some gems, some amazing memories that I have with my family that
Yeah,
if I hadn't just been in that moment and been waiting to have the money, to enjoy life, I would have
yeah.
missed out on some amazing moments. So today doesn't matter anything that's going on in your life. Today is the great opportunity.
Great opportunity to be grateful for what you have right here, right now. It may not be perfect. I'm going to tell you right now, when I went
Right.
through my challenges,
Mhm.
I felt like, spiraling down the drain. And then, the
Yeah.
cannabis brought me hope and inspiration for growth and healing, but it was
Mhm.
one foot in front of the other, baby
Yeah.
steps,
Oh
and
my
being
God. Yes.
baby, baby,
Yes.
baby.
That leads in perfectly to the daily love today,
There you
Cher.
go. Love it.
Just one
You're
foot
on.
in front of the other.
Good.
Okay. All right. Listen, this is a follow on today from we ended up our 7-day mental diet, which is how to change your thought process from negative to positive. And of course, you use a gratitude list because it rewires your brain literally when you write out 3 things you're grateful for every day. It rewires your neural patterns, and that's what we're doing. So this was a poem that I quoted today out of this reading, and it's so appropriate for
I
what
love
you
it.
just talked about. It's called Autobiography in 5 short chapters. Chapter 1: I walk down the street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I fall in. I'm lost. I'm hopeless and helpless. It isn't my fault. It
Okay.
takes forever to find a way out. Chapter 2: I walk down the same street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I pretend I don't see it. I fall in again. I can't believe I'm in the same place, but it isn't my fault. It still takes a long time to get out. Chapter 3: I walk down the same street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I see it's there. I still fall in because it's a habit. My eyes are open. I know where I am. It's my fault, but I get out immediately. Chapter 4: I walk down the same street. There's a deep hole in the street. I walk around it.
Yeah.
Chapter 5: I walked down another street.
Boom. Boom.
That's how it goes in the beginning. It's not your fault, and you spend a long time in sort of the negative space before you get out, right?
Right.
It
So
but
it's
as you
time to
practice, you practice, and then at the end of the day, you just choose another thought. You choose another street. Oh, I just love it. That's
you
by
know,
Portia Nelson. It's
that's
called "There's
really
a Hole in
powerful.
My Sidewalk" by Portia Nelson.
And I'm going to
Yeah,
put one analogy to that as well. It's really
yeah,
cool. So then the analogy is if you're not able to do exactly what you want to do right here, right now, there have the capability of reinventing yourself. Right. So it's the same. Like I can just imagine like the same thing happened to me. When I wasn't able to go back to traditional nursing. I was
right.
stuck in that story. But guess
Mhm.
what? I kept trying to go back to the hospital. This is a cool story. And I kept falling in the hole because I wasn't supposed to be there. Right.
Right. Didn't you
So,
didn't you notice that that's how it progressed? First you fell in the hole, you didn't know you were there, you're in despair. Next time you fell in the hole and you're like, "Oh, this feels familiar. How the hell did I get here?" And then
mhm.
next time you're like, "Ah, this is my fault. I am totally taking myself there." And then you just
um,
chose another path.
I chose
Chose
another path.
another
And guess
path.
what? I chose everyone. I chose cannabis nursing.
Yes.
It's totally changed my life. The plant, personally and
Yeah.
professionally, have
Mhm.
100% improved the quality of my life. And so we are here as nurses to
Yes.
educate and empower you on the most powerful, misunderstood plant in the world.
Yes, it is.
And why are we so excited, Mark, about, cannabis?
Oh
Motivational Monday. What
gosh,
motivates?
Motivational Monday. Well, Sherry, we're in it because we've seen the miracles that take place when people utilize this medicine, and it really
Right.
is miraculous in comparison to the other things that are available as tools. This one is so safe and so effective that
Right.
it just can't be denied anymore.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, can't
It
be
can't
denied.
deny it.
Nope.
So here's the thing when it comes to nursing and medical
Mhm.
professionals, and this is where nurses are ahead of the game, right? So you think
Yep.
about it, even just right now in this period in time. So what are we in 2021? So
Yeah,
in
baby.
2018, almost 3 years ago, the
Yep.
National Council State Boards of Nursing came out with guidelines in the Journal of Nursing Regulations for Medical Cannabis. The National Council State Boards of Nursing is the regulatory board that puts on the nursing exam for every nurse to be um,
They're
certified,
they're
or
the deal. They
they're
are
the
the
deal.
ones who are in charge of making sure that every nurse has that base level of instruction and is able to actually operate as a nurse. And this is no joke. Like the
No joke.
NCLEX, if you nurses out there, that NCLEX, you panic and you prepare. Like we spent months at the end of nursing school preparing just to take this examination. Like,
Yeah.
it's the real
It's a
deal.
big deal. It's like you either
And
pass
now they're in
or
and
you
in
don't.
2018, yeah, in 2018, they came
Yeah.
out and added these amazing statements, position statements about what a nurse really needs to know about cannabinoid medicine.
And they
That's
not
3
only
years
had
ago.
It's 3 years ago. So they identified 6 essential areas of knowledge about cannabis for all nurses,
Yep.
nursing students, and
Yes.
advanced practice nurses. So we're going to cover one of them today, Mark,
Yeah,
because
we are.
there's 6 of
Yeah.
them, and we'll just dive right in.
Okay. Number 5. The nurse shall be able to identify the safety considerations for patient use of cannabis.
Right, right.
Safety is what we're all about.
Safety, safe
Yes,
utilization, risk benefit
yes,
ratio,
yes,
teaching people how to have an experience to create the life they love and the life they want to live their best
yes,
life. It doesn't,
safely.
yeah,
Yeah.
safely.
Mhm.
So here's a patient population that we haven't really covered. We've covered it here and there, but
Yep,
we're gonna focus on safety, for the
yep.
rest of this month,
Mhm.
and particularly the 65 and over crowd in two different
My
segments.
people. Those
My
people.
people, you're not 65 yet, are
Listen,
you?
I'm in that group. Like, I'm the tail end of the baby boomers, man. I
Oh,
just slid in under, like, the last year you're considered a baby boomer.
all
So
right.
those are my people.
That's my
Absolutely. You know,
people.
Sherry, when I first started the Nurse Mark gig, I would go mostly to assisted living facilities because they were so curious
Mm,
about how this could be used as a medicine. I mean, that's a testimonial to the fact that the multiple pharmaceuticals that they're on by that point just aren't cutting it.
yeah.
I think the statistics are that,
Mm.
if when you get into your 60s, you end up on at least 5 medications.
Oh,
By the
yeah.
time
Oh,
you're in your late 70s, early 80s, you're on 7 on average.
and so here's the thing about
Yeah,
medications and polypharmacy is that 5 or more medications, there's a 50% chance that they're interacting with one
right,
another. So just
right,
imagine if you're on 7 or more, that's a 70% chance that your drugs are
mhm,
interacting and not in a powerful way.
right,
So we
right.
have the 65 and over crowd, and Mark, you were just talking about it, and they're very cannabis curious. And the reason why is because they talk, right?
Totally.
One person has an experience, and before you know it, it's like the telephone. Hello, did you
Mhm.
hear? Oh my God, it's working. And so they
Yeah,
talk, and before you know it, they all want to know. So cannabis use among the 65 and over crowd is up by 250%,
right.
and up nearly 60% in adults aged 50 to 65, which is big,
Exactly. Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
And so, from curiosity comes what? Action.
Mhm.
People Google, they join Facebook groups, they read,
Right.
they learn, and then they choose to have an experience.
Mhm.
And so we want people to be able to do it in a safe and effective way. And there's often barriers, Mark,
Of
for
course there
many in
are.
this demographic. So,
Yeah. I
yeah,
mean, product choices can be confusing because, every dispensary has something just a little bit different. And so it can be really daunting to figure out when you step in there, what the heck am I supposed to even be choosing?
right. And they look at a menu, right? You think about the
Yeah.
menu, and then all of a sudden, all these names pop up. Okay, just you got to think about who.
That alone, like, puts you off. It's like, OG Kush and Girl Scout cookies, and how does that even lend itself to figuring out how to utilize? Is it going to be effective for me, and how do I utilize it best? You have
Yes.
no idea, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
So product choices can be confusing.
yeah,
Dispensaries and caregivers can often give medical advice without knowing the whole picture. You know,
right.
Oftentimes there's inconsistent information and guidance.
Hmm.
And the thing that's really important, it may lead to less optimal results and either being over medicated or not having enough.
Right. And either one of those two things creates an opportunity for someone to try it, have a negative experience, and then say, I'm never going to try it again. And that is what we want to avoid, because if you use it correctly, it can be the most, life-changing medicine ever, Sherry,
Ever. It
personally.
saved my life. I mean, I wouldn't be here without
Right.
it. So I say thank you, plant medicine, every day. Thank you for showing me, guiding me, and leading me the way, helping me to go with the flow so I may grow. And that's really what
Right.
it is.
Right.
Mind, body, and spirit. So we want people to have safe experiences. That's why we do what we do. So here at the Green Nurse, we provide access to medical and educational cannabis resources for all age groups. So just think about
Yes.
this. Our patient population, I went through all of our patients, 75% of them are over 65, right?
Mhm.
And these patients that we've educated have never used cannabis. So here's
Right.
the other interesting thing. About half of them want to use cannabis to treat their pain, and
Yep.
the other half want to use it to treat sleep issues.
Yeah.
And the most
Yeah.
important thing too is many of these patients, think about it, 75% patients,
Yep.
many of them are extremely skeptical in using cannabis. So it's
Course.
really, really important for them to get the correct education and to learn how to use
Right.
it effectively.
Right. And you know what?
Mm,
Here's another thing. And this is the beauty of cannabis as a medicine. It's not just effective in one paradigm. Like, it's not just a pain reliever. It's not
yeah,
just helpful with sleep. It's helpful with anxiety and appetite and all of those things, right?
yeah, they all
So
go
when you
together.
treat somebody's pain, they're going to sleep better because pain is a disruptor of sleep, right? You're in
Yep.
bed, you roll over, you have a sore shoulder. I know that's happened to me. When you roll over, you hit it, you wake up.
Oh,
So if you treat all of it,
yeah.
all of those things,
Yes. Well, it's interesting too. So you just think about pain can cause what? Anxiety,
of course.
depression,
Yeah.
right? Intractable pain, something that I experienced caused me to actually be nauseous and puke, right?
Yeah.
So you just think about it. It was panic disorder. So it's like it's completely 100%
All wrapped up.
all interrelated. That's why we teach about my handy dandy umbrella, the endocannabinoid.
Yeah. Ooh. That's right.
So when it comes to the aging population, right? So what is it? And Mark and I've talked about this all the time. We don't die of old age. We
Nope.
die of age-related diseases that are caused by inflammation, which is
Yes.
often a direct result of our lifestyle choices. I know it's hard to hear,
But it's true.
but it's true,
It
So
is. What you do today, what you did 10 years ago, all is just moved you in a certain direction. And so if you're in a direction that you're not necessarily happy with, you can choose another one and it'll take time to get where you want to go in that other direction. So
right. And
it's about what you do in little small incremental changes in habit.
yes,
That's
and
the
so
key.
and the reason why I'm bringing that up is because
Yep.
when we're working with that senior population, what often
Mhm.
happens is that they're looking for overnight quick results. So
Yes.
when we talk and educate on the endocannabinoid system and how they might apply cannabis,
Mhm.
we also have to educate them on every single thing that they're doing or not doing that's going to support or not support how
Right.
cannabis may be used as medicine,
Right.
right? So that's really important. So cannabis, we know, is safe and effective for seniors,
Yeah.
right? What does
Very.
it do? Yeah, it's
Mhm.
completely safe. So we treat age-related conditions and chronic illnesses by managing symptoms, by educating, by bridging the gap from what
Yes.
traditional medicine is not providing to this age group.
Mhm. Mhm.
And the other thing we've seen too is as they start to manage their symptoms, what happens?
They actually can decrease their pharmaceutical medication load.
Yeah.
Happens time and time again. Now, to be clear, there are some pharmaceutical medications that you may have to remain on because they are effective, right?
Hmm.
That's the case. But what we do is we work with folks over time as they introduce cannabinoid medicine, cannabis into their health regimen. When we do that, many times they're able to decrease their other medications because they're just more effectively used in the body. So you can
Yeah.
decrease, or in many cases, Sherry, I know we've seen it so many times, you actually are able to get off of that medication, which many times have far more side effects.
Yeah. And so here's the thing too, with a lot of patients that have come off traditional pharma, one of the
Yeah,
things that we always say too, doesn't mean that you don't need pharmaceuticals ever in case something comes up. So it's
right.
not, so
Yeah.
I always like to say it can't be the end all be all. You still need
No.
traditional care. So here we go. Well, this is going to be a long segment because we care so much about our seniors, and
Yeah.
basically, prohibition has caused the cannabis curious to seek education wherever they can find it. That's why it's so
Yeah.
important for medical professionals to step up and to learn.
Come on. Let's
Yeah,
go.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
So
it was almost 100 years, right, of negative misinformation. It wasn't based on science. It was all political. It was race-based, and we were in the American public, in the medical community, which includes the American public over time, have just been fed negative information. So, man, reefer madness, misguided laws have prohibited physicians from actually utilizing or even talking about it.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a shame. And so then here we go. So due to the knowledge deficit of health professionals, patients are getting their information from
Mhm.
who? Bud tenders, the
Yeah.
community, which is it's a great starting point. But many patients have said that some of their bud tenders knew more about using cannabis as medicine than their primary doctors.
Well, yeah, they
So,
do. I mean, it's
right?
Jerry, they're not presented the information. It's not like these
Yeah,
physicians don't want to have it. It's just that they haven't had it. And think about it. Here's the thing, Sherry. 1937, the American Medical Association, that those physicians that were practicing at that moment all said it was ridiculous to ban marijuana as a medicine.
There you
Ridiculous,
go. I
silly,
agree.
and so
Doesn't
they
make
were on
sense.
board. But what happened? Those physicians have all died. They're all gone.
Right.
Their knowledge, their experience all went away and have been replaced with new physicians and folks in the health care community that have been fed negative information for so many years. So of course, they have this firmly entrenched worldview that cannabis is bad. And
Right.
that's what we've been breaking down.
Yes.
That's what we're here to
We would
do, and you're here to do.
I'm here to do. So here's the thing. I want to give the grassroots cannabis community and all the activism some credit, because truly it was the caregiver community that saved
Yes.
my life.
Yes.
Right. So, many bud tenders come from these grassroots cannabis activism communities, and they're involved in the caregiving communities to help and guide patients.
And it's not as if a lot of them don't have quality, good, solid
Mhm.
experience and information.
Yeah.
Absolutely, they do.
Right, exactly. So like me, the
Mhm.
grassroots community saved me, and I applaud you all. So I'm really grateful for that. So
Yeah.
with that being said, okay,
Uh-huh.
so we are so grateful for the grassroots community. With that being said, we encourage you, if you have a senior that's on the fence, to really let us help you, because they are very unique. The aging population, all of their systems start to slow down,
It's just what
right?
happens.
It's just what happens.
Yeah. Our
So you
ability
think of
to metabolize, pharmaceuticals changes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
things slow down, decrease bioavailability, right?
Yep.
Meaning that our bodies are able to use less of the things that we ingest,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
What about our kidneys and liver?
Yeah. I know. I mean, everything starts to slow down. So you don't your liver doesn't work as efficiently as it used to in breaking down any drugs that you may take. Your kidneys don't flush things out as efficiently as they did before. So all of those things affect how medications work in your body as we age. And that includes cannabis as well. So yeah,
Yeah,
it might be different. It's absolutely going to be different from somebody who's
yeah,
25 and somebody who's 65.
yep. And so just think about too the aging population,
Yeah.
65 and over.
Mhm.
Many of them struggle with other age-related and biological changes,
Right.
such as problems with, think about it, balance, vision,
Mhm.
hearing, right?
Yeah,
And then also the life, the consequences of, poor choices. So we have to look at everything, right?
we
We need to look
do.
at everything while working with patients.
Yeah.
So the other thing too is this patient population, seniors 65 and over, they experience a higher prevalence of chronic illness. So which means that they're more likely, like we said, to be prescribed medication from their doctors,
Right.
right?
And you said it, and you said the reason why we tend to have more chronic illnesses as we age is because everything that we've done for the last 65 years has brought us to where we are now. So if you've had, lifestyle choices that pushed you in this particular direction, no matter what it was,
Yeah.
that it's the result of all of those years combined, and that's why you have more chronic illness in the population as we age.
Yep. And so we've already covered, I'm going to keep going down through
Keep
our
going.
little hugs and nugs here. So we covered polypharmacy, and
Yes.
how adverse drug reactions, this is really important. 65 and over crowd accounts for 25% of all emergency room visits, right? And
Right.
over half of these have to do with an adverse drug event. So,
Yeah.
basically, we have to stop traumatizing our patients,
Yeah.
with pharmaceuticals, and educate them on multiple different ways to manage
Right.
their symptoms.
Last I checked, 100,000 people a year die from a medication-related, negative experience, so,
It's a lot. It's a lot.
yeah.
And then the other thing too with elders is the metabolism of medications, like we talked about.
Mhm.
We metabolize our meds through our liver, which is responsible for metabolizing the majority of them. So you just think
Right.
about, we have these enzymes that break down everything in our body to
Mhm.
be metabolized out. So
Right.
seniors, those enzymes are 30% or less,
Mhm.
right? Which means they're at risk for increased side effects,
Right.
especially if they have other diseases and they're on other medications and they start to introduce cannabis. So that's why it's really important for them to work with
Right.
a health professional.
Yeah. And, here's something that we always deal with in the population 65 and above, and as we age, is how do we get the medications out of the packages?
There you go.
You
There's a
know?
challenge.
Seriously, it's a challenge, right? If you have arthritis and your hands aren't working as well as they were before, I mean, it's really a chore. So how do we
Yeah,
actually make that happen? How
right.
do we work with that? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's, it's easy for them, the droppers, the
Mhm.
syringes, the bottles, the
Right.
medicine, the packaging, their
Mm.
sealed package. I had a hard time opening one as
Labeling
well. I'm like,
challenges,
"Ugh."
right?
Yeah, labeling challenges, the small font, like you're looking at it with magnifying glass.
You have to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's another one too. How
Yeah.
about the older folks? I'm going to call it durable medical equipment. What
Mhm.
about like the vape pens, the dab rigs, the molds, the butter machines, all of these different
Oh,
things
yeah.
are new to people. So a lot of them may lack the equipment and the education around using these different things.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah, and so then you have a discrepancy between what the traditional doctor is telling them about
Mhm.
cannabis, what a cannabis specialist is saying, or cannabis nurse, and the dispensary bud tenders. Like, not everybody is on the same page, and it's all based on how much knowledge they have accumulated and where did that knowledge come from, and was it evidence based, and all of those things. And thank
Yeah,
God we have some institutions that have really done a great job in the last few years of putting together a real firm curriculum, like a
right,
very professional curriculum around this.
right.
Yeah.
Other challenge, financial affordability. So many
Yes.
seniors and elders, they're on a fixed income and
Mhm.
can be very cost prohibitive. So,
Come on,
that's,
insurance, let's go.
yeah. And let's hurry up. Take your time and hurry up already.
Right,
We
right.
need insurance. And then we also too talked about physical challenges. Many elders are not able to actually physically pick up the medications from pharmacies or dispensaries. So
Right.
slowly but surely delivery is starting to roll out, which
And
is going to
again,
be great.
state by state, it's different, right?
Yes,
Yes.
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 So, Mark, we know that cannabis can relieve suffering and improve quality of life.
Yes.
It's a great complementary tool. It's a great tool to decrease side effects of other medications and to bridge
Yeah.
the gap. And
Uh-huh.
it's a great alternative to pharmaceuticals, and it's
It
time that
can
we
be.
educate. Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
where do our seniors start?
Listen, contact the Green Nurse or other cannabis nursing organizations or those specializing in the endocannabinoid system. There
Yeah,
are there are practitioners in play now who have been educated. And of course, everyone in the Green Nurse community has absolutely been educated in a very formal way about endocannabinoid medicine and cannabis in specific. So why
yeah.
would you do that, Sherry?
Well, you want to do that because why? To maximize safety and efficacy, right?
Yes.
To
Yes.
minimize risks and improve outcomes.
Right. And of course, save time and money because
Save
we
time and
talked
money.
about it can be expensive using cannabis as medication. But
Yep.
if you work with a professional and you dial in really how much works for you, most people just try it. And honestly, Sherry, I know you've seen it.
I
They
have.
overconsume, right? They
Mhm.
think that
Yep.
they need a higher dose in order to have an effect, and that's not
It's
true.
not the case.
So when you
Yep.
work with a professional, and again, Sherry, you pointed it out really eloquently, we look at all of the things that somebody is doing, like
Yeah.
their level of exercise and movement and what's going on in
Diet.
other areas of their lives, right? Because it's all intertwined. And so if we can make positive effect in each one of those areas using
Yes.
cannabis, the whole person blossoms. So yeah,
Absolutely.
important.
And so that's why we do what we do, right? And so what we're going to continue next week, because this is a lot of information.
Woo!
We're going to do part 2. So next week we're going to
Yeah,
continue to talk about elders and safety and actually give you some case studies. I got quite a few,
oh,
on my
yeah,
mind right now on how,
fabulous
yeah,
stories.
how
Yeah.
patients can choose products, how they've choosed it, how they
Mhm.
maximize their results, and
Yep.
some of the outcomes it may look like. So, so basically, patients we've seen get comfortable in 1 hour, we've seen patients get comfortable in 6 months. So
It's
it's really
but everybody can
it's,
get there.
everyone can get there. And that's why we are here, the Green Nurses.
The daily dose of AFA every weekday at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Spread the
Absolutely.
word, man. We love seeing you guys here. Good morning,
Yes.
everybody.
Good morning.
So good to see you all. Monday, March 8th, 2021. Hey, got to give a shout out. This is my baby brother, not my baby brother, but my brother Kevin, who's 2 years younger than I am, who I harassed mercilessly as a child. You know how boys are, right? I want to say happy birthday to him. It's his birthday today. Yeah.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Yay. That's
So,
awesome.
so good to see all of you stopping by. And
Yeah,
listen, you're all part of this, right?
you
We're all
are.
part of this. Your energy, your knowledge, you posting up on the comment section, all create what we're doing here. So thank you for being a part of that.
We are the entourage, all of us together,
Yeah.
right? The Green Nurse entourage spreading
Mhm.
AFA news on cannabis and
Yes.
all of the other health and wellness tools. So make sure you guys all share.
Yeah.
Share these videos because we want to reach as many people as possible. So
Absolutely.
tomorrow is Terpene Tuesday, right? So in the weeds,
Oh,
Prohibition Talk Radio. Joe, if you're out there in the weeds
Joe.
land, we love you, Joe.
Uh-huh.
And so
Yep.
Terpene Tuesday
Right.
tomorrow,
And
Wednesday we're
Wednesday,
doing. Yep,
yep. In the Weeds Prohibition Talk Radio, 420 to 620. We have
yep,
a segment on there called Canna Talk, which we absolutely love to do.
you do.
And what else on Wednesday nights?
On Wednesday night, Nurse Mark and the Green Nurse podcast, where we were illuminating nurses and health professionals who
Mhm.
are stepping outside the box or eliminating the box and
Yeah,
incorporating cannabis education and who are doing really, really cool things in the community
right.
across the country. So we're bringing you those messages, those
Yes, we
messages of love and joy,
yeah.
sharing the love.
And then on Friday, 9 a.m.
Mm,
Eastern Standard Time on Facebook, Frequency Friday for Energy Healing.
yeah.
Ah,
Yeah,
so
we're
good.
so good. So we're here for you all. So if you or someone you love is suffering from chronic illness, pain, if you're cannabis curious and want to use this as a health and wellness tool, or you want to learn how to have a safe adult use experience, reach out to us at The Green Nurse. We're here for you. www.thegreennurse.com.
And listen, you're here. You guys spread the word. Anybody who's in any part of the healthcare paradigm, wherever you are, helping people to be more healthy, we can work together to help bring cannabis into that area because it belongs there. It belongs in every different healthcare paradigm. Whatever the modality is that you're in, cannabis has a place there. So join us, join us, join us.
Join us. Mark, what kind of a day are you having today?
Oh, it's already an AFA day. Let me tell
It
you,
is.
it is so good. And I'm so happy that I'm here for this Monday, March 8th, 2021, my little brother's birthday. I am so happy. I'm going to have an AFA day, Sherry.
Me too.
Absolutely. And what's it all about?
Oh, Mark, you know what it's all about. It's about living your best life and helping others do the same.
Absolutely. All right, everybody. Have an AFA day, and we will see you tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. bright and early.